Hello, everyone. How you doing? Here we go. Okay, so this is my video on the final chapter, Think and Grow Rich. It's called How to Outwit the Six Ghosts of Fear. In the original edition, it's chapter 15, although in a later version that I have, it's actually split into two chapters. Chapter 15 is about six fears, the six basic fears, and then chapter 15 is of the six basic fears, and 16 is the seventh basic evil, which he also calls the Devil's Workshop. Now, this is fascinating. Let me get into the six basic fears first. He says all other fears are minor and can be classified under these six ghosts of fear. They are, in the order of their most common appearance, the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love of someone, the fear of old age, and the fear of death. And he gets into quite a bit spending on what causes these fears, particularly the fear of poverty, the first one. It's the most destructive of the six basic fears. Symptoms of the fear of poverty. There's a section here of things you can check to see if you have any of these symptoms of these fears. He says most people suffer at least some of these fears, and you're lucky if you don't have all six. So some of the symptoms of the fear of poverty: indifference, indecision, doubt, worry, overcaution, procrastination. Now, this chapter is after the conclusion of the 13 principles, but he said that before you can put any portion of the philosophy into successful use, your mind must be prepared to receive it. So, for example, the sixth sense will never function while these three negatives of indecision, doubt, and fear, or any of them, remain in your mind. So this is one more step you have to take besides the 13 principles of success. Preparing your mind by getting rid of these fears. Let me go on to the other book where I've got the Devil's Workshop in a separate chapter. The seventh basic evil, and I will explain this fascinating term. He says that this evil is more deeply seated and more often fatal than all of the six fears. For want of a better name, let us call this evil susceptibility to negative influences. How to protect yourself against negative influences. He has all sorts of questions to ask yourself, self-analysis. Do you complain often of feeling bad? If so, what is the cause? Do you find fault with other people at the slightest provocation? There's several pages of this. I'm not going to read it. But he gives some examples of people with negative minds try to convince various successful people not to try doing what they were doing. Thomas A. Edison was told he couldn't build a machine that would record and produce the human voice because nobody had ever done it before. Seems kind of against to miss the point, right? Because he was trying to invent it. Men with negative minds told F.W. Woolworth he would go broke trying to run a store selling items that only cost 5 or 10 cents. But he didn't believe them. Men with negative minds told George Washington he could not hope to win against the vastly superior forces of the British. But he exercised his divine right to believe. Doubting Thomas scoffed scornfully when Henry Ford tried out his first crudely built automobile in the streets of Detroit. He said he would belt the earth with dependable motor cars, and he did. He didn't listen to them. All right, now there's 55 famous alibis. If only, they all start if only. If only I didn't this, didn't that, had this, had that. Yeah, it's good to study all that. 55 of them. Building alibis is a deeply rooted habit. When we create an alibi, we tend to defend it because it's something that we created. That's an interesting point that I hadn't thought before I listened to this. It is human nature to defend your own brainchild, even if it's negative. All right. So there is a key, the master key. You are now in possession of the master key that unlocks the door to life's bountiful riches. The master key is intangible but powerful. It is the privilege of creating in your own mind a burning desire for a definite form of riches. There's no penalty for the use of the key, but there is a price you must pay if you do not use it. The price is failure. The reward is worthy of your effort. Will you make the start and be convinced? And then there's a short quote from Emerson. That's how the book ends. Okay, so I hope everybody is enjoying reading this book and have enjoyed my videos. I've got one week that I made a video that didn't get saved, so I'll have to go back and do that. But other than that, my read through of the book is completed. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover, or if you have any questions. I see I have a few people viewing. Thank you for watching. I hope everybody's having a good day or night, whatever time it is where you are. And I'm going to end this now. See everybody later.